Peter Mandelson, right, went mad. In the 80s, Peter Mandelson lost it big time.
Is that what you're going to do now? You're going to throw Mandy?
He started like hearing voices in his head and shit, telling him to like kill Tony Blair and shit. He came back from it, man. You know what I mean? He fucking came back. That's it. Turn the page on the day, walk away.
Newscum.
Right, so I've got an idea for this part of the podcast, Matt, which is the second part. I want this to be the first part.
Okay.
And then the bit that we just did, that's going to then... Okay, so because I really want to talk about two things. 28 years later and your party. I think we should try and talk about your party again, even though we did that before, it didn't work very well. But I just listened to Scroungers. You know, Scroungers, they're back after having not done a podcast for months. I
don't know them. Who are they?
Scroungers, it's like, it's a bit like this show, but better. And it's run by
That's incredible.
A kind of Shrek character with the voice of Peter Kay. It's good.
Is it Peter Kay?
It could well be.
Oh.
It's someone from Bolton, though. So it might be. Peter Kay's from Bolton, I presume. Someone from that part. They all sound the same. Someone like that. Anyway. But they were talking about your party. Very interesting. They also talked about 28 years later. Also very interesting. And it got me thinking. This is my theory. Scroungers didn't come up with this. All right. This came from up here, Matt. Right? Right here. This is where this was produced. So a few weeks ago, we talked about the problem of forming a cult around Jimmy Savile when none of the information about Jimmy Savile would have come out in the alternative timeline of 28 days later.
Yes.
Because society in the UK had been destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you know that Jimmy Savile had a cabin in the Highlands?
I didn't. I guess that's kind of quite predictable, though.
Yeah. It's very believable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't know it, you kind of knew it. You've always known it, haven't you, Matt? So my theory is that what happens in the film, because at the beginning of the latest film, 28 years later, there is a kind of flashback scene to begin with while the zombie pandemic is engulfing Britain. And it's sort of getting up into Scotland and all the people in that village and stuff are panicking. And they're in a sort of remote Scottish village. And the father of the character who then turns into the Jimmy Savile, I think it's called Jimmy Crystal character.
Yeah.
We see him, he's a priest. And he's sort of embracing end of days. That's what he thinks this zombie pandemic is. And he lets the zombies devour him. Do you not remember this?
Yeah, I remember that start of the film. Yeah.
And Jimmy Crystal, the Jimmy Savile character, takes his crucifix from his father. And at the end of the film, you see him wearing it upside down.
Oh, yes.
So I think what's happened is that priest, something along the lines of that priest, because, you know, priests are often... Can't say the word, but you know, they're a very Savileized society, like community. In a lot of
they
ways.
live in Seville.
Yeah, let me tell you. And then they, so maybe him and Savile, or just Savile, or there's some kind of abuse going on of that child that involves Jimmy Savile. So he's like personally involved in it, rather than it being something that's come out in the news, because obviously it never does come out in the news. So he builds up the cult due to his own abuse.
Oh, okay. So the director of that film, what's he called again? What's the dude behind those 28 years later films?
Well, Alex Garland's the writer.
Alex Garland.
But you're thinking of
and the other
Danny
dude who did
Boyle.
The Olympics. Danny Boyle.
Yeah,
so they're going to be
Olympics.
pleased that you've said that, because none of what they said about the Jimmy Savile thing made any fucking sense whatsoever. So now they're going to be, oh, Daniel Taylor's figured it out. We're going to stick it into the script.
Dan. Well, it's too late. They've already made it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon the chances are that any of that's in the film?
I think that's very plausible. Very good theory. Could well be true.
I don't think they're going to address it in any way.
You think they'll just ignore it and it'd be kind of a film thing?
He's into Jimmy Savile, innit? Like,
yeah,
just
it's
what?
it's the fucking.
It's just his thing.
it's somehow Palpatine survived all over again. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Because apparently, so in Scroungers, I don't know if we can believe these people really, but they said that they had heard from test screenings of the
Oh
new
yeah.
thing. Who are you talking to? What was that? So
To,
Matt
to
just
the
like
audience,
waved
I
and
said to Scroungers. I
said
said hi,
hello.
Scrounge.
They're
I
not.
said
They
hi,
don't listen to.
Scroungers.
They don't listen to this.
Well, you never know. They might go over the fucking archives
Where? Okay.
when we've died in a fucking double fucking suicide.
That's the only way
Might
this will
develop
ever
some
get
interest.
any interest is if we die horrifically. You realize that, Matt?
Hmm.
Anyway, they said in test screenings that there's no mention of the origins of why this has happened.
Oh. So it's going to be not very good then, really, because that's just bad, isn't it? When you don't think through the universe of your fictional.
Yes, it
thing.
is. It's bad.
That's disappointing. You're going to be disappointed, aren't you?
I think so, yes. I'm actually may not go and see it at the cinema now. I may wait until it's legally available online, and then I will pay for it online and watch it there in a legal way. I
Yeah,
like that.
that
So
sounds like a
I was
nice idea.
watching Lemmy, the
Yeah.
Scottish comedian. He does Twitch. He's talking about 28 years later, the first one, and he's saying he asked the audience, in his Twitch streamers, so is 28 years later legally available online yet? And the audience was like, no. He's like, hmm. He's like, okay, so I went to the cinema to see 28 years later. I only watched the first half, but I'm going to watch the second half later because I've got a deal with the cinema. They let me back. They let me come and go, and I can watch bits of it when I want. Your party.
Yeah. What's been happening there then? That's been. Haven't you signed up or something? Like
Oh
properly?
yeah, I signed up. That was fun.
You're paying 150 pence a month or something.
I'm paying £1. Yes, that's right. £1.50. I got the super concession day saver return special, which is why.
Sorry for all the fuck ups.
That's why I love the left. Is because it's built for cheapskates. There's always like, are you just a complete loser? Then because we're on the left, we begrudgingly have to allow you. Like, we wish we could charge everybody 10 quid a month, but we have to do this thing where, and I always take that option. I always do the unwaged student blah blah thing. 150. I think it's a bargain. Find a political. I'm there for the deal. I don't care about the politics. Find me a political party you can join for 150. I'll tell you, Martin Lewis. He should be advising on that money account thing. If you want to join a political party, this is the one. £1.50. Can't get wrong. But it is, for £1.50, it is what it is. A piece of shit. That's the problem when you don't spend money. It's just crap. So there was a thing on the front page, right?
I wonder what the most expensive one is.
I wonder how much the Tories are. Let's see if I can join the Tory
Okay,
party.
you get an incredibly good party if you spend like 20 quid a month.
How do you join? Conservatives.com. Here we go.
They're not going to tell you the price immediately, are they?
No, because it's like, it's so dear. It's like this fucking clothes shop where
the boutique price.
Yeah, we don't need to put the price on. Standard for the Tory party is 40 quid a year. That's nothing.
Oh,
Members
you should join the Tories.
Members pay like £3.50 a month. Oh, right. Well, I don't even know what this is. That's standard.
Oh, you haven't got a very good deal, have you?
Armed Forces, standard party membership and all associated benefits is offered at a reduced rate for serving or former members of the armed forces. 25 a year. Under 26.
25. That's almost as cheap as your party. Your deal.
What is it? £1.50 a month. What is that? 12 sort of £16. I can't do maths. Yeah. It's not as cheap, but it's much closer than I would have thought.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And this is and then under 26 is £10 a year. That is cheaper.
Then there's a little asterisk though with the Tory one, which is £1 million in a suitcase.
I'm interested now.
Here's what you get. Here's the extra benefits you get.
Green Party. Here we go. Green Party.
Endless numbers of Tory party stickers.
Join Green Party.
Oh yeah, I was part of the Green Party until about 2 weeks ago, but I've got so many direct debits. I was just like, ugh, get rid of that fucking.
Join Green Party.
Even though I kind of agree.
Oh look, Green Party doesn't tell you how much it is. It makes you do you have to sign your name and stuff, and then we'll tell you.
What a surprise!
What a fucking loaded bastards. Oh, here we go. Standard rate: 60 quid annually or £5 a month. Reduce
Yeah, I think
rate
I was on 5 million.
£13 annually. God, these parties are desperate on this. Embarrassing. What about
Yeah,
reform?
it's 60 quid. I can't afford 60 quid.
Yeah.
All right, 13 quid.
Please just give us anything. Join reform. Here we go. Become a member. Recurring membership. £25 annual. I thought I was getting a deal. I'm not so sure anymore. Anyway,
Yeah, you had
on
a. Yeah,
your party, right? Look, I'm not good at spelling and grammar and stuff, and I make mistakes all the time. But I was actually quite shocked to see there's like 3 boxes. It's not. I'm not talking about hidden in a paragraph of long text, but on the main page of your party, there's 3 boxes with 3 sentences in them, and the first one says "Join us," and then it has a sentence which says "Join us today and help build a fairer, people-powered Britain where every voice counts." Now they just
where
changed that. Yeah, it says where.
WEAR,
No, it
as
says
in wearing clothes.
yeah, no. It says where now, WHERE. But until a few days ago, for about a month, it said were, WERE. And I'm like, I mean, firstly, it's the main sentence. It's not like I couldn't believe, and they didn't change it for ages and ages. And also, as I say, like I make those mistakes. I think the English language is designed to fuck people over. It's like the whole point of it is to sort of like divide educated people from non-educated people by having all of these little rules in there that are not necessary and have nothing to do with the spoken language. Like there, why is there got different spellings? There's no difference in pronunciation. And the reason that there's no difference in pronunciation is because the usage is so different depending on the meaning that there's no confusion when you're speaking English, which there you're using. And so there would be no confusion in this in which one you're using in written language either. You don't need a spelling difference. It's just to fuck people over. But where and were are different words. They have different pronunciation. I don't understand how you can confuse those 2 words.
I wonder if this is why Zara Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn fell out, because Zara was like, let's just launch the website now. And Jeremy was like, I bet there's some fucking typos
Let's check
on this
the
thing.
spelling, Zara.
And Zara's like, click, off it goes. And Jeremy's like, it was meant to be called the You Are Party. You don't even know how to use fucking apostrophe.
You are party. That would be good. You are party. No, it's like what, you're a party. No, you are party. Well,
Party Central.
what was the other thing? Oh yes.
Then it can be called Your Party Central.
When you go to sign up, you get like a list of things that you might be interested in. I mean, it's always the same shit, right? They ask you, what are your concerns? And then they're like, do you have any experience? What kind of experience and help could you bring? Like, and all of that gets filed away and never looked at. No one is ever going to look at that again. It's just a complete waste of time. It just reminds me of Momentum. And you're like, oh, well, I've done a little bit of campaigning here and there. I'll put that down. A little bit of video editing. I could help you out. And it's like nobody gives, like, it's gone. Like if you want to be active in any of these things, like you have to engage with it. And and if you engage and go to certain things and meet people and put yourself out there, but this kind of the endless amount of stuff that in Momentum like this, where you'd fill in these fucking forms, you'd do it to join Momentum, then you'd do it at the beginning of any election campaign. It's just nonsense. But the thing that they had was they had a list of different things that you might be interested, like why you've joined this party. What are your concerns? Is it the economy?
My main concern is this party.
Yeah. No, I don't think party structure was even mentioned.
Yeah, they missed
Like,
the trick there.
don't talk about that. But then there was like this, even that was really finicky. You couldn't, it said use control to do multiple ones. That obviously doesn't work on a Mac. It's like, I've never seen such a sort of shoddy shit website, to be honest. But there's a part of me is kind of like, this is kind of promising in a way, because they're promising a new politics. And I think people are sick of like the sheen, like the slick, Tony Blair, Labour Party.
Exactly.
fucking
We've had enough of organised politics.
exactly.
Time for disorganised
We want
politics.
exactly. I think there's something to that. We want a kind of ramshackled, like everything's being leaked all the time. There's no secrecy. There's no conspiracies. It's just all out in the open. Just this big fucking mess that we're all involved in.
The nuclear codes are written on the back of a fucking beer mat for John Foster's. John Foster's? What do I mean? John Smith's. I've got mixed up between my Fosters and John Smith's. Oh, that would be a fucking horrible pint.
Well, I don't. Why? What's the difference? Like, if it's written on a Foster's, is it not? It doesn't work. It's got to
Well,
be
I
John
said
Smith's.
I said it was a John Foster's.
Oh, John Foster's. Okay.
It's probably a fucking sounds like an England fast bowler from the 1970s.
Well, the guy. I mean, the other thing is that all of these. There's all this stuff that's sprung up now around your party. All this media stuff. I think there's a podcast called Our Party or This Party. Something. It all sounds like fucking Alan Partridge. It's time for This Party with Alan Partridge. And then they were interviewing people. They interviewed the guy that came up with the momentum structure. He complains that it was never followed. But his whole thing was he wrote it on a napkin at a restaurant and gave it to James Schneider.
Not on the
by
back
the
of
way,
a John Foster's.
no, but he's like, the whole thing is like, can you believe it? That I came up with the whole structure for momentum. Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah,
Completely believable.
believe that.
And
I mean,
yeah,
Karl Marx was pissed quite a lot of the time.
That's true.
And that kind of shows throughout the 20th century.
But anyway, yeah, it's a real shit show. There's multiple conferences, regional conferences being organized, but nobody knows who. And it's not like some secretive groups doing it. It's like nobody knows who's supposed to be doing it, and people are just sort of
I
desperately.
thought you sent me some dates the other day for various different cities. That looked like it was coming together.
Yeah, I mean,
Kinda.
I was reading a thread about some people in Bristol talking about they were trying to get a venue for a couple of thousand people. Didn't have any money. These were like local people that had been asked to do it by someone at Central Command, whatever. And then eventually they've just gone with the hall of 150 people where they've already been meeting anyway. So the whole of the regional area is going to be now just in the hall where the Bristol people are meeting. And but it
That
is
doesn't
chaos.
sound like it'll work.
It's chaos. I mean, I saw the North. So I've been invited to the North London one as now a newly, membershipized Londoner. And the North London one is at this, I don't know, I've never heard of it, this tiny place up in really northern Tottenham. I mean, it might be big enough, I have no idea. But it's because you've got this. Firstly, well, you've got two things, right? You've got the people at the top who are in complete chaos because there's massive division in the leadership and there's no agreed structure of who's in charge of anything. And then, in the grassroots, it's the same problem where you've got lots of groups that have been around for a while, organizing for other reasons, be it independent councillors or people who have organized around Palestine. And then people have just come in as part of this new party, and they all don't know who else is involved because they've not been given the data. I mean, I do, when I look back at Momentum, it was ridiculous that Momentum wouldn't give its local groups the data. But I do appreciate with your party, who are they supposed to give it to? Just everyone, because it's just public, isn't it? Who locally? For example, there's a group on Twitter called Your Party Norwich or Your Party Norfolk, and they're complaining that they haven't been involved. This is just a Twitter account. They haven't been involved in the organizing of the whatever it is, East Anglia or whatever the thing is going to be there. And then other people on the Twitter feed are saying we don't know, we never heard of this group.
Tweb feed.
The Tweb feed. But it's like, and who knows, maybe
That's good.
maybe this group has hundreds and hundreds of members in Norfolk, but another group which also has lots of members has never heard of them. And they're both your party. Yeah, it's just bad. It's just really bad. And then there's supposed to be this huge conference in a month that they've arbitrarily decided has to be now. So everything's in a rush for this conference, which they don't need to do it in a month, but they've decided to. I think in part because they're desperate to get something together for the local elections next year.
Oh, okay.
Because this is an electoral machine. That's what it's all about. Unless you believe
Yeah.
that it isn't. Some people
If
believe
if
it
it
is.
was if it was a real machine, what would it be?
I don't know, some kind of vacuum cleaner, I guess.
My vacuum cleaner, not used for fucking years, clogged up with fucking old cat hair.
So are you going to sign up or what, mate? 150?
Mm.
I thought it was a bargain, maybe not, but
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll sign up for like the Tories and the your party and see which one gives me most value for money
yeah,
over the year.
that
Although,
would be that would be a good YouTube video. You sign up for the ball and just to see
well, this week I got through a Jeremy Corbyn pencil in the post.
see what freebies
Bye
you
bye,
get.
Tories.
Yeah, I don't know if well, the other thing is apparently you'll be able to vote for everything online.
Great.
So just stay at home. That's my advice. Don't leave the house.
Yeah.
Although
Stay home.
I
Go for one
I'm
walk a day for
dubious about
recreation.
this because I think the whole thing's a bit. I like no one knows. So you have these delegates. So you can have these regional assemblies first, but nobody knows from that what will, if anything that's decided there will actually feed into the conference or not.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing on paper that this is the system that we're using. So
Mm.
they'll just happen and then they'll be forgotten about. And then there'll be the national thing and they don't know what they'll even be talking about. And then presumably after that kerfuffle, we'll all get to vote on whatever comes out of that, but who knows? It's just it's really bizarre. It's bad. It's very bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess if you look inside a sausage factory, you see the sausage being made, and no one likes that.
Exactly.
But
I
maybe
do
maybe to
think.
the outside people, maybe they're like, "Oh, this is going great. Look at that powerful
No,
electoral
I don't think
force."
anybody's thinking that.
But they
But
might do after the local elections, because who needs to be organised for a local election anyway?
well, you need to have people that are running
Sure, but that's just a matter of clicking on a form.
and having a human being that's willing to do it.
Yeah, but they can find someone who to do that. Any
But what are
old
they what
Tom,
are they
Dick,
running
Harry.
on?
Who cares? Just people just click randomly anyway. There's only about 30% turnout in it for local elections. You might get in just by a process of chance.
And then when you get in, what are you do? You haven't. There's no agreement of what the party is.
Yeah, but no one ever does anything very
Yeah,
good anyway when they get
that's
into
true,
office. So
actually. Yeah. Well, I was saying that to you at the beginning. Your party was at its best when it was announced and then didn't do anything,
exactly,
and you were getting
exactly.
frustrated. You were like, "When?" And I was like, "No, this is genius." And and ever since then they fucked it up. If they could get back
Exactly.
to not doing things,
Yeah, and the person in the tick box for each of the elections at the local elections should just be AN other, like you do the 12th man for in a cricket team. It's just like a placeholder character, and then and if they do get in for any reason, then just someone has to turn up and do it from the local street
I
or
wonder if you
whatever.
get away with that. So then you could field candidates in every
Yeah,
constituency,
yeah,
but it's just about a handful of people on the off chance that they actually win them.
yeah,
We'll fill them up
yeah.
later. I mean, it's true, because most people vote for parties anyway. They're not voting for the individuals involved. It's
Exactly. It'll
it's
be
a bit of
fine.
a it's a bit stupid, really, that you have to say that this is the individual that's going to be representing the
Mm.
Tories, whatever, in this constituency. Who
Yeah, no one
cares?
cares. Be fine.
If we win it, we'll
It's all
if we
gonna be
win it,
sorted.
we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, exactly. Stop stressing. It's fine. This country is going to be sorted out in a matter of 2.5, 3 years. Piece of piss.
You
All going to be
mean
done. Going to be
the
happy.
the fag end of the Starmer
Yeah,
premiership
yeah.
before he
There'll be a slightly early election.
massively loses to reform?
Yeah, there'll be an election. They'll call an election, and just like your party will have sorted itself out, and it'll just all be like cool. And all the other parties will just be like, "Oh God, that's such good policies." Yeah, we won't try very hard
It's
because
such good
it's gone
policies that
so
they
well.
don't have any policies. It's genius.
Yeah,
It's
they're
all in the
like,
mind.
yeah, and they'll
I
be
can
completely
imagine.
ninja judo mind tricked
It's
into
like
just being like, oh yeah, we're out
vote
of
for
here.
your
We're gonna give up.
party. There's nobody in the box. Imagine your favorite person. That's who you
Yeah,
voted for, and imagine your favorite policies, and that
yeah.
will be there.
So
And if
it's
we win,
literally.
we'll do that.
But that's the bit. That's my big idea for the reform. Actually, and so it shouldn't be a another. The name in the box on every constituency should be my mum. It should just be my mum, and everyone's like, "Oh, I love my mum," and just keep putting the cross in the my mum box.
Yeah, okay. But then you're kind of obliged for everybody's mum to step up
Yeah,
collectively.
well, that's what we need.
Thousands of councillors who's everyone's mum in the whole area.
Yeah. And we can have a there could be it could be powerful online as well as a movement throughout the country. It can be a big online movement. It could be called something like Mum's Net or something like
Yeah,
that.
Mumsnet sounds very sinister to me. I've always thought Mumsnet is like the propaganda arm of Skynet, where it's like everything's fine, guys. It's Mumsnet here. Just get into the bunker, like Mum says. Follow the machines.
I swear I will not kill anybody.
Your party. What else could we say about that? Leadership, bad,
Has
boo.
there actually been any other sort of news with your party? I have somewhat avoided it because it was getting on my
What was going on
nerves.
your nerves about it? It's too good.
Well, just the end. It's just I don't want to use the word, but disappointing and enervating.
Mm.
But we don't want to keep plowing that emotional furrow on this podcast. It might lead people to switch off.
Well, Scroungers came out very anti-Corbyn. I know, and
Right.
I mean they've obviously come out like all of this stuff comes out of the Corbyn movement, but they were kind
Anti
of get,
Corbyn sounds like the who the your mum would be for when he becomes the leader.
yeah,
Anti
vote for
Corbyn.
anti-Corbyn.
Wait, what were you saying?
What are you eating?
Uh, Kiwi fruit. I've been
Got
here
10
for a
minutes
week, so
left.
I've
Got nine
actually
minutes,
cracked through these
21
kiwis.
seconds.
So yeah, that's but yeah, but we yeah,
And
this
it's
sounds like
very
a
hard
conversation.
to
Sounds like a
speculate.
conversation to have again in November when we know more about these actual meetings that are going ahead in all these
Yeah,
different
well,
cities.
presumably you want to know before that because people are going to participate in those, including me. I'm going to vote. I'm
What are
from
you going to vote
50.
for?
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to vote on. But apparently I'll get a vote. There's going to be an online vote. Everybody gets a vote. That's the only thing that they've been sort of consistent with. And I think everybody agrees with one member, one vote.
Right.
Absolutely.
Doesn't everyone have that in all the parties?
No, no other party has that at all.
Isn't that a famous phrase though? One member,
Yeah,
one vote.
yeah. That nobody ever subscribes to. It's a great idea in principle, but no organization has ever done it. Probably because it ends up a bit like this, a bit of a disaster. In the Labour Party, you have delegates,
Yeah.
and the delegates get to vote, and
Yes.
then also the leadership are not obliged to follow what the votes are anyway. So it's completely
No, but no one's actually technically got. It's not like when they legalized the slavery and they said that one person is three quarters of a person, or one
what?
slave is three quarters of a person, or whatever.
What's that? Who said that? And what's that to do with anything?
Well,
I think
everyone who
we're
has,
speaking across purposes. Let's not
yeah, I
get
think we're speaking
angry.
across.
Let's not get
Yes,
angry with each other. It's
yeah,
just
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah. Let's not get angry at each other, dickhead. That's a classic. That's a classic debater move. Let's keep it peaceful, you piece of shit. Anyway, so let's be civil, dickhead. Right. So, what are you going to say?
I'm leaving my point.
That's
What's your
very,
next point?
very civilized. I respect you leaving your point. I'm gonna double down on mine, if you don't mind.
Good, please do.
One person, one member, one vote is the policies of the party will be decided in a vote by everybody in who's a member,
Yes.
and no other party does that.
Well, so they won't have any. The leadership won't have any control over that at all. They won't be able to make any decisions. They're just literally like, oh, well, 70% of people voted for hanging, so we've got to go with that. Is that what they're literally saying?
That's what they're literally saying. Yes. Do
So
you
it
believe
won't.
it?
It will just be the same as any other party, then, won't it? They'll have a vote that's a democratic vote, and then they'll ignore it if
I
they
s-
want to.
yeah. Well, it would be interesting if they did that, wouldn't it? Since this has been the
Yeah,
core
I mean,
thing that they've said that they're doing.
yeah, but
So
it's
I
interesting
well,
because
okay.
that
So I
does mean
think
that there's no. They're basically saying there's no leadership at all, except all that leadership does is simply reflect the interests of the party. What happens when there's a an issue going on that they can't have a sudden vote on? That sounds like it won't work. There needs to
yeah.
be some kind of.
Well, that it would be policy, wouldn't it? That's determined. Like obviously, you would have
Oh yeah, they're
like
voting on policy rather
yeah.
than
Yeah, it's not like
every single.
every
Yeah,
opinion on what's happening, and and you just say the classic, well, I can't say what our policy would be. I can say what my opinion is.
yeah. Well, sounds good, I
But I
guess.
think the way to fix it, like if the leadership want to fix it, which obviously they would do, is before this conference, is that they kind of decide on the parameters of what the debate's going to be. So by the time it gets to the membership, the one person, one vote, like it's between two very similar positions, right? That's the
Yeah.
way you would do it, I
This
imagine.
is this is organizing things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, I like it how like everything's down to the individual members, and the members are completely empowered. But the one thing that the leadership does is organizing and presentation. The two things that
No, no,
Jeremy
no, no. More
Corbyn
than
is
that.
least good at.
More than that. No, they have to fix the parameters of what the policy
Yeah,
debate is going to be, right? So
yeah, but
that's
whether they will or not,
well,
who knows?
obviously this is what the battle is that's going on between the different
Yeah,
factions
yeah,
at the top.
yeah. Mm,
And this is why people are so interested in what's happening now, because by the time of
mm.
the vote in November, it'll be too
Yeah,
late,
yeah.
right?
So I kind of have to join now.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can't have any say. What you got to do now is read lots of bullshit on like weird, obscure lefty websites about what's happening, and then complain about it on Twitter. And
Right.
then slowly but surely we can turn the tide. I mean, I don't even
Okay.
know because the problem. I've said this to you before. I think the problem is that there is definitely a problem with the process, with the structure of the party. The main one being that there isn't one, but the
Mm,
second one being that no one can decide on what it would be if there was one.
yeah.
But the bigger problem is that people are hiding behind this argument about structure because of their actual political argument. This is what I think, anyway. So I think a lot of people that sort of back Corbyn or back Sultana, like they say, oh, well, I back them because they've got the best idea for how to structure the party and make it more
Mm.
democratic or make it better for voters, be a more of an electoral machine, right? But really, what they actually think is agree with this politician, or we don't know because neither of them have really come up with policies. But I have a feeling that Corbyn has my interests politically. I sort of align with him, and I imagine that if he was leader and his faction was leader, then I would be happier with this party and where it was going. Or they think that about Zara. But instead of having that political debate, they just squabble about the stuff. I don't know. I might be wrong. I think people are
Mm.
genuinely interested in the structure stuff as well, but it's just like nobody's come up with a decent way of doing it, to be fair.
Mm.
And one way or the other, it's going to be some of the people involved. I mean, the interesting with Scroungers is they were going through a lot of the people on Corbyn's side and how fucking weird and shit they are, and how they were all involved in Labour and the anti-Semitism stuff. And it is, it would be good if Corbyn was able to shed some people, but he doesn't seem able to do that. He just stays
Well,
with the
put them
same.
in his shed
Yeah, shed them up.
out of the way
Yeah,
on his
exactly.
allotment. You've been shedded.
He- that sounds like a ITV game show in the shed.
Run by, please welcome your host, Jeremy Corbyn.
So that's what he should have done. He missed. He would be great. Take all the
What
pressure
game show
off.
host?
Just become a game show host.
Yeah.
Pointless. I hate fucking Alexander Armstrong so much.
Oh, do you? But he was Danger Mouse.
He
But was
was.
he? Was he really?
I don't know.
Or was that David Jason?
So yeah, so David Jason was originally Alexander Armstrong. The arrogance of this man taking over David Jason. He'll be doing.
Yeah.
They'll remake Only Fools and Horses next with Alexander Armstrong as the fucking what's his face, and who would play Rodney? Who
That
would play
annoying
Rodney?
guy on Pointless. What's he called? I fucking hate him. Who everyone likes.
Richard
Longman.
Richard Longman. Yeah, he would fucking be Rodney,
Fucking
wouldn't
irritating.
Yeah, he's
Richard
annoying.
Osman.
Osman?
He's
Yeah.
right on my fucking tits.
Fuck
He's behind
him.
the scenes all the time being fucking knee.
Who would play Grandad? Someone else annoying. Jeremy Corbyn. He'd play Grandad.
He's so sprightly and youthful though, as Jeremy Corbyn for a 70.
That's true, but so was the Grandad. I can't remember his name. What's the Grandad called?
Well, the Grandad was called Grandad, and he looked fairly old because he was from olden times. But Buster Merryfield, he played Uncle Albert. He looked
Uncle Albert. Sorry, I'm confusing. I never watched it. Embarrassingly enough,
Yeah.
I thought it was actually quite shit. No, it's all right. The bits I've seen were okay. Actually, the Batman and Robin bit. That's the only bit I like. Right, we've got less than a minute.
Good.
Just smashed another podcast out of the park. Although this is the first half for the people at home.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bit we did before? How great that was? That's coming up next. Do you remember? It was so
guys.
good. Do you remember the bit with the bit? When you said the bit and I said the bit and there was all of that bit.
Woo, woo.
Still got less than a minute. Come on. Gotta keep it going. So we've got some breaking news, Matt. Should we start with break?
What's happened? What's broken?
his
Are we all right?
His headphones fell off. He was so shocked. Yeah. Should we start with breaking news?
Yeah.
So, first thing is that Palestine Action's judicial review will go ahead next month.
Okay.
We go live to Bath for the reaction from a real, true British man with a long, rich lineage in being British. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's fantastic.
No, Matt, it's not a character. It's you. I'm talking about you.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, that's my real voice.
Oh, it's okay then. Go on then. Get on with it.
Well, I think I'm really pleased with what's happened. We've got a judicial review for Palestine Action, and I think that will create a much more equitable ecosystem for the protest movement.
The protest movement? What the hell is that?
I don't know what the fuck.
You don't know what you're talking
I hadn't even
about,
heard this news, but it sounds good.
Okay,
It sounds good. Obviously, that sounds
we've had
like
enough.
good.
Sorry, run out of time. News night, run out of time. Next, we've got Tomahawk missiles. So Zelensky is apparently going to be speaking to Trump today to convince him to give him Tomahawk missiles. How give some advice to Zelensky? How can he best advise? How can he get Donald Trump on side for this?
Well, I think what.
Go on. You stuck with a character now. How come you're red and I'm really pale and white? Can we fix that?
How should Zelensky go about convincing Donald Trump? Jesus Christ, that's not a question to ask me. I mean,
why not?
I'd have thought.
Can you not put yourself in someone else's shoes? Can you not steel man someone else's argument?
Flatter his ego. I think what Zelensky's done over the last few months has been interesting because he keeps talking about peace. I'm so
as a
pale.
Why is that? Do you noticing this?
Well, I am now, as is everyone else. I didn't before.
Why
Maybe
is this?
Wear darker colours or something, or yellow. Zelensky's been saying, look, the way to get peace is through showing strength, which obviously there's some truth to that. But he's also like...
Which bits is the truth?
Well, I guess you can create peace through... Well, peace through strength is a cliche, a slogan of the Republican Party going back years that Trump's been using.
That's good.
But they also kind of mean... But I don't think anyone really meant peace through strength and specifically the weaker player within the war massively escalating with nuclear capable by developing nuclear capable.
I don't think
missiles.
that the nuclear
That's
capability.
not peace through strength.
I don't
but
think
that's what he'll try and sell it to Donald Trump.
The issue isn't the nuclear capabilities; it's the range, right?
I don't know. I mean, like in theory, at least, they could stick nuclear warheads on the Tomahawk missiles. So
Well, yeah, but they could.
That's why the Russians might be a bit like, well,
No,
we've got a missile coming over. Maybe it's got a nuclear warhead on it. So
well,
maybe
I think
we need
it's
to retaliate
the fact
against
that they
that
can
now.
reach Moscow and stuff. I don't think anyone's talking about putting nuclear warheads on them.
No, but
I mean, apart
theory,
from you, I mean, you're saying it sort of on the one hand, you're sort of arguing against it, but you're also sort of planting the seed. I see at the same time, 'cause no one else has thought about that.
Well,
it'd be terrible if they put nuclear warheads on it, which they are capable of taking, by the way.
I guess they probably wouldn't have the technical capability, but I guess the point is that those.
Well, I think the Americans would be actually involved in. The Americans would just be doing it for them anyway.
Yes, and this is what I guess is why, from the Russian perspective, that this has been a failure, this war, because ultimately you're probably going to end up with the thing that they specifically said that they didn't want 3.5 years ago, which is having NATO, the biggest NATO weapons stationed in Ukraine, because it's ended up provoking that kind of retaliation from the West, which is just bad all round. But I think that's the sort of old-fashioned theory, at least, is that, if a missile is nuclear capable, then when it comes into your country, you have to assume that it's got a nuclear warhead on it, in which case you have to retaliate immediately. I don't suppose they will.
Is that like just common knowledge? I don't know. I actually don't know.
I mean, that would be like standard Cold War. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, it does seem crazy when you think about the way that people talked about the Cold War and the delicacies of that. Compared to now, it's just unbelievable.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But that's the thing. I mean, the thing is, because the reason for that, and sorry if it's really obvious, but it's because if you've got a massive missile like a Tomahawk missile landing on Moscow.
Also, is that racist?
You can't
Tomahawk missile.
Yeah, I think it probably is very racist.
Is that racist? Right, I'm going to turn on the light.
Like the Apache helicopters and all sorts of other weapons are often
a bit
named.
Of color. Is that better?
Oh, you look very healthy. You look like
look at that
great big pork pie, and a glass of orange juice. But I think from a sort of traditional security perspective, you can't just be waiting in a surveillance observation post in Russia and be like, oh, there's a cruise missile coming overhead. I do hope that it's only packed with TNT instead of a nuclear warhead. I'll just assume it's the first one. It'll probably only kill a few people. So if a country attacks you like that, So
what are you saying Russia should do?
Traditionally, you'd be like, right, fuck them up.
So
I'm not saying what Russia should do. I'm saying the traditional perspective would be, oh yeah, we have to retaliate to that immediately.
The missiles that Russia,
I don't think they will.
The missiles that Russia are firing presumably could hold nukes, couldn't they?
I'm not sure actually of the.
Have you even looked into it?
Side of this, I've looked into it a little bit, yeah, but not well enough to do off the cuff on.
Well, you seem pretty confident.
Comedy on a fucking jokey podcast.
Oh, it's a jokey podcast. Earlier you were saying it's a serious political podcast, and now it's a jokey podcast. But you
I've had to accept reality in the last 10 minutes.
Very confident, like this is the big problem with Tomahawks, and yet you're not even sure what the Russians have been firing. It just seems like a bias on your side against what's happened, sort of scrutinizing every movement that the Ukrainians and the US do, and how the Russians might retaliate to that, but not really thinking about the Russians. Because the Russians fire those really fast ones. Can they not be nukes?
The Oreshnik ones, I think they can be nuclear capable, yeah. So Ukraine could be like, well, they could be nuclear capable. We need to
guess they're so fast that there's no time to even think about it. They've already, they've already dropped, and they're definitely not. So nothing to worry about there.
Oh, that's just landed and destroyed a block. Whew.
Yeah, exactly. Now I've got like bags.
I believe that the ATACMS that Ukraine have been using are not really nuclear capable. I think it needs to be quite a big missile, and that's one of the reasons why about a year ago, when Biden was thinking about, well, basically Zelensky asked maybe just over a year ago, asked the Biden administration, I want to have Tomahawk missiles, and the Biden administration leaked that discussion and then laughed about it because they said that's absolutely ridiculous. We're not doing that. Those weapons are basically, the weapons are too big. So that was their way of saying no. But of course, this is all mission creep. You know, this is why escalation can happen even when no one really wants to escalate, because everyone needs to be seen to be doing something. And a year on, here we are doing another unthinkable.
That Trump is completely 180'd, or maybe was just always on the side of Ukraine, and that actually the Democrats were the responsible ones all along.
It's impossible to know because we don't know what the Democrats would have done, but I would say that there's been a steady mission creep
and
escalation that's gone on for the last 3.5 years. So I imagine that we'd be in a very similar position now.
I agree.
But probably without talking, which is at least one thing.
Joshing with you.
That Donald Trump has done is that the Biden administration did not seem willing to talk about the Middle East or about Ukraine in terms of diplomacy. Whereas even though Donald Trump is being comparably escalatory, he is at least also combining that with some kind of discussion.
That's great. So we can move into Middle East. It's great.
Well, I think we've already been in the middle. If you're talking about our country,
shut up.
We've already been there.
This podcast, it was a great little. That was well done.
All right, you want to market this podcast to the Middle East? We're fucking dead in 3 minutes.
I'm saying that we have transitioned the conversation from Ukraine to the Middle East seamlessly.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were being a professional podcaster there.
Well, I wasn't, because I was pointing it out. But anyway, Anthony Blinken said that he was heavily involved in that. So it was a cross-party consensus on that one, Matt, not Trump.
He was very heavily involved in what? In which one? The Middle East?
The peace negotiations in the Middle East. The ceasefire.
Anthony Blinken was he? I didn't notice that.
That's what he claims. Nobody noticed it, but he said he was there all along. Yeah.
He plays
anyway, the
ceasefire
is a disaster, isn't it? Blinken plays the electric guitar.
Yeah.
Like Tony Blair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen that clip of Jamie Dimon at Davos? There's some guys doing a documentary on sort of gotcha documentary on all these people at Davos, and he gets a meeting with Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon's just with his entourage, and they've already communicated with this journalist. He didn't know he was like a journalist, and so they've arranged to meet. And the journalist comes over. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then just in the corner, he's like, "You should meet my friend Tony." It's like, you guys have got a lot in common. You used to both be in rock bands. Yeah, Tony was in a rock band before he was prime minister. And Tony Blair sort of sheepishly comes out. It's like just sort of at the back of Jamie Dimon's entourage. It's just like some piece of trash that follows Jamie Dimon around. It's an interesting window into the world. Anyway,
they could be Tony Blinken and Tony Blair could be the Tony B's, and they could both play lead guitar and fuck up
the Middle East,
international politics.
Well, Tony Blair's going to be involved, or is he? Who knows? In this, he's going to be the vice.
How awkwardly did they decide to name the thing that's going to run Gaza? Board of Peace. Why don't they call it the Peace Board? Because it just sounds like they're fucking bored of peace. If there's anyone who's bored of peace, it's fucking Tony Blair. He's been bored of peace since 1998. When he fucking bombed fucking Iraq for the first time.
Is Tony Blair going to be involved or not?
That's what they say.
I feel like they're just...
He needs something to do, Daniel.
He's really busy. He's got his fucking finger in every pie. I don't think he needs... It's like Peter Mandelson becoming ambassador. It's not like these people are just hanging around. We've got these massive organizations they're running, and then they're also just then given these plum jobs anyway. But I think they're just putting that forward so that... Because that's obviously the worst person you could ever imagine. So that when they bring in someone else,
so when they bring in someone else, it'll be like, oh yeah, he's fine, yeah. It's Mandelson.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure it's that much of a plum job. Can you imagine living in Gaza? Well, I think they're going to do it from Egypt, aren't they?
So why
Can you
is he
imagine
taking
being
it?
in charge?
So what is Tony
Well,
Blair?
probably loads of money and
I
loads
think
of
it must be a
prestige.
I don't think he's like, well, it's a tough job, but I'm going to step
Yeah.
up. Nobody else is able to do it. No
I
one's
don't think
ready to
I'd
do it.
like it. It'd be like being the Archbishop of Canterbury in Blackadder times, in medieval times. It's like just you're bound to get killed by someone at some point
By
within
the
minutes of taking the
Israelis
position.
immediately.
Exactly. But it could be anyone, any of the factions of anything. It's just a ticket to assassination.
I'd quite
bill.
like Tony Blair. He gets a missile hits the convention center in Brighton during Labour conference to take out Tony Blair because he's the envoy of whatever. And Starmer like looks over. And says, oh, that was Israel. And she's like, oh, okay, clear that up. Nothing to see here. Let's keep going. Keep the show on the road.
Yeah. Don't criticize that missile. If you criticize that missile
It's anti-Semitic.
that's exploding in your face, it's anti-Semitic. Yeah, what was the question? Where were we at?
We were just doing breaking news. We could do other
Oh
news.
yeah. What was the breaking news then?
Tomahawk missiles.
Oh, yeah.
No, the Middle East peace thing that's going so well. That Donald Trump has done. Well done.
Yes, although just to come back to the Tomahawk thing, I think you're right that the major issue really with it is that it would that even without nuclear, because it probably won't, they won't want to do that. But I still think it probably those missiles can cause quite a lot of damage. They're, I think, quite a few
Yeah, I know.
times bigger than these other fucking things and longer range, as you were saying. And so you could end up
That is the
seeing
problem,
strikes
is
on
that
Moscow.
they'll cause a lot of damage. Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they'll hit Moscow.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what will happen then, because what I don't understand is that presumably Russia could massively escalate this. And I don't mean in terms of hitting London and places. I just mean in like wiping out Ukraine. Or
Yeah,
like,
I think so, but I do think that there are supply problems as well. Like, I don't think I don't think anyone actually knows. From when I looked it up, no one really knows how many Oreshnik missiles they've got, for example. But
Right.
presumably they've got a factory that makes a few, but they can't just make endless hundreds of these things.
well, this Tomahawk thing can hit some of the factories that are making the missiles. I mean, Russia's so big that I mean the range of these missiles is huge, but it's only about half of Russia. They could still
Yeah.
make factories further and further back, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it'd take them
That's-
forever to get them
That's
over.
the way. That's the way to reassure the Russians. Don't worry, only half of your country's in range.
Well,
You can
I mean,
just make your missiles in the east of Russia, can't you?
well, I mean, it's a.
Is that how I'm going to try and commit? Well, I try and my advice
it's
to
just you
Zelensky
compare it
is
to
just
Ukraine.
flattered.
Where
Yeah.
all of Ukraine is within the range of any missile that you could make, right? Even these incredibly long range missiles actually can't hit. There are targets. They could move things into parts of Russia that they can't hit. That's
Yeah.
that's why it's so
Why
asymmetrical.
don't you move Moscow to?
They should
the
move
other
Moscow.
side?
Well, I always thought Moscow's too close to Europe.
Apparently, Petersburg is built on a bog, so like constantly sinking. So maybe they could move that one.
That's like that castle in Monty Python, where he builds a castle on the bog. They said you could never build this castle on a bog, but we built it anyway, and it sank. So we built it again, and it sank. So we built it a third time, and it sank. So we built it a fourth time, and that, son, is the strongest castle in the land, and that's what you're going to inherit.
Good.
We've only got 6 minutes left of this.
Oh my word!
I don't know where we go from there. So they built St. Petersburg on a bog. And then it sank. So build the city again. And then it sank. We built the city again and they got hit by Tomahawk missiles. So we sent it all the way east. But it was too close to Alaska. So it sank.
Yeah, doesn't sound like a very stable situation to be in, does it? But
What's this?
I think
what are we talking about now?
well, the whole thing, the Tomahawk thing, is a bit of a worry in it. I don't know.
I know, but you got to stop worrying, Matt. Every
But
week,
you're also, yeah, I know. I'll stop
there's a
worrying.
worry every week. You know,
Yeah, let's just forget about it. Sorry, guys. No need to worry about
it's
it.
like one of those shitty Netflix shows where they keep dragging out, and so at the end of every episode, there has to
Yeah,
be like another cliffhanger. You know,
yeah,
I know that's going to be. It's like Batman, the old series with Adam West. Like they're always in at the very end of the episode, they're in a position like there's no way out. They're in this
yeah,
ridiculous conundrum. There's just seemingly there's nothing they can do, and then the next episode it's resolved immediately, so they can start
yeah,
a new episode. And I think it's
yeah,
been like that for ages, right? And
yeah,
as you can see, nothing's happened in Ukraine. Nobody's been killed. There's
yeah,
barely anything. It's just been fine the whole time. And it's just
yeah.
all being
It's
talk,
just like
talk,
the end
talk.
of. It's just like the end of the Batman in the '60s.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
say.
just the end of every week. The
Every week is like
Ukrainians,
they're trapped in a cellar with loads of hissing sticks of dynamite,
yeah.
and then it begins at the next episode, and then
And
it's
it's like, oh,
like,
I've got something on my utility belt that can put out all of these hissing dynamite sticks.
oh, I know what it is. It's a telephone, so that I can just ring and make a really basic, obvious diplomatic agreement that could have been done years and years and
It's
years ago.
just one battle after another, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, that was a shit film. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Leonardo
I watched
DiCaprio.
your review as well. I completely agree with it, with your review.
Fucking boring. What the fuck?
I mean, it was very confusing. On
Why
top
were you
of being very,
confused?
well, I don't know what it was. Like you got Sean Penn, right, playing this character that's basically like something out of Hot Shots. It's like just a kind of ludicrous
Yeah,
caricature. And then
yeah,
you've got Leonardo DiCaprio who's in a completely different film, which is a kind of I don't know,
like
satire.
Clockwise or something.
Yeah, yeah.
He's constantly trying to run away.
No,
from
he's in
something.
he's in
I've
like a
got to get to the school in time for
Yeah, yeah.
midday to
It's
give my
like-
speech.
it's like an absurd sort of comedy of manners. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you've got whoever that girl is, the daughter. She's in like
Yeah.
a sort of like shitty 90s suspense film, sort of made for TV. You know, where it's like there's action scenes, but they don't really have the budget for it. So it's like a really slow car chase through the desert. Yeah, I don't understand. So you know, it was based on a book in the 80s, right?
right.
And then they just took the Thomas Pynchon. I haven't read it. I haven't read any of his stuff, but you know, it's the second one of his adaptations that Paul Thomas Anderson's done, and the other one didn't work either. But the thing about it is, it's about political activism in the 80s, and he just lifts the whole thing to now. So the whole film revolves around this secret organization in America that does all its secret networking stuff on the phone. And it's like nobody uses the phone anymore. It's completely ridiculous. And that nobody's on the internet the whole time in this secretive organization. It's really bizarre. I don't know what the film's about. I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know what it's saying. Or yeah.
I think they quite.
But
I think
people love
directors
it.
quite.
Mark Kermode fucking loves it. Everybody loves it.
Does anyone love it? I thought it got quite disappointing reactions.
Rave
But
reviews.
I saw some rave reviews early on, but I don't think I don't know. I don't know if the public will react very well. I'm not sure if it's done that well with box office compared to what Leo's stuff would usually do. There's also this weird slapstick element. I think everyone likes to see Leonardo DiCaprio in kind of these hectic scenarios where he's sort of panicking. But there's like that bit in it where he falls out of a tree. And it's like he falls so far he blatantly would have just died. But then it's like suddenly it's a comedy again. It's like, oh, it's just that he's a bit beaten up. It's just none of it made any fucking sense
Yeah, I like
at all.
that. And he's with some kids on skateboards. It's a bit like the Turtles, like jumping over rooftops.
Yeah, and he also Leonardo DiCaprio is like fucking 51 or something. It's like he keeps playing these characters that are kind of like slapstick figures, or sort of against the clock. And he's also playing a character at the beginning who's meant to be about 30, and then meant to be about 50 odd later on.
Yeah, nobody
But
ages.
they don't bother doing any of the aging on the characters,
Nobody
or with any
ages.
of the other characters.
Nobody ages. It's a magical
It was
world.
the most badly designed fucking film I've seen in a long time. usually I'm very like, if I'm like, oh, that film wasn't very good, I sometimes try and be nice about the filmmakers. I like, oh, the makeup was good, or the like the costumes were nice or something. But this time I was like, what the fuck? Everything about this is an absolute cowpat disguised as an omelette.
We've got less than 1 minute, but I just want to say I've got a new theory about 28 years later that I'm ready to hit the world with.
When's that next version of the film coming out?
Soon,
Next
I think.
edition?
It's before Christmas, probably in the
said it
next
was
month.
November, I think.
Yeah, I think next month, something like that.
How exciting.
I know.
Oh, I'm looking forward to
You mean you're looking forward to my theory, not the film itself, surely?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to stop this, cut this short, and not wait for it to end. If that is how you're going to carry on.